China continue to be targeted for their beliefs. The report by the Falun Dafa Information Center says at least 450,000 Falun Gong practitioners were held in labor camps last year.
This report, released on Monday, shows that tens of millions of Falun Gong adherents in China were being persecuted for their beliefs in 2009. It documents one more year in the Communist Party's decade-long persecution of the spiritual group. The report is based partly on first-hand Chinese sources and eyewitness accounts. Some of the key findings include that Falun Gong adherents make up an estimated 15 to 20% of people held in Chinese labor camps. That means at least 450,000 adherents are currently in prison for their beliefs. Authorities abducted at least 66 adherents in Shanghai ahead of the World Expo scheduled to start there on May 1st. Lawyers who have represented Falun Gong adherents in court faced escalating harassment by authorities, in some cases even detention and torture. And that nonetheless, Falun Gong remains a strong and non-violent grassroots movement within China. The Falun Dafa Information Center is the primary resource on the human rights abuses against Falun Gong. Its executive director, Levi Browdy, spoke about the report at a news conference on Monday at the National Press Club in Washington.
There's nothing lawful about the campaign against Falun Gong. It's led by the party. It's not led by the government. It is illegal under Chinese law. It is illegal under international law. And it is highly brutal.
So brutal that Falun Gong practitioners are allegedly being injected with potassium and killed for their organs. Organs which are then sold on the black market, according to David Matas. Matas co-authored an investigative report on the topic called Bloody Harvest.
We have people coming out of China who tell us about that. They see people being injected. We had somebody who is a policeman. These people are being injected and organ extracted in mobile vans.
On March 16, the U.S. House of Representatives passed Resolution 605, urging the Chinese Communist Party to end its persecution campaign against Falun Gong. But, says investigative journalist Ethan Gutman, the White House has no clear policy on the issue.
Because when it comes to the Obama administration's human rights policy, there is no clearly defined position on, there are no clear objectives on the Falun Gong issue. There is no strategy to address the ongoing atrocities, no matter how well documented they are or how grotesque the methods are.
While the Communist Party continues to vilify Falun Gong, Browdy emphasized the effect of its persecution goes beyond just Falun Gong adherents.
They're developing a mechanism of censorship and repression that they can use at will on anyone. And I think if that is made clear, then we understand that while Falun Gong is an enormous, in terms of scale and scope, human rights issue, it's actually a much bigger problem for us here in the U.S. and around the world. Because if they've learned how to keep stuff out of the media so no one in China knows about SARS, knows about the persecuted Falun Gong, then they can do the same thing with SARS and the next outbreak that might come out. And that's dangerous for all of us.
NTD News, Washington, D.C.